Some of the agencies that would have to be notified in a crash such as this that normally wouldn't be thought of might be the hazardous materials team, whoever that would be in your area. For instance, in this county, you would want to have county health respond. Because it's carrying a hazardous material, Jet A, in an unknown quantity. They would have to come here to test to see if there's been soil contamination. This is Dave Ragsdale from County Health, and he's here to see if there's been any contamination due to the fuel on board the aircraft. What have you looked at?
Well, we'd have two concerns with an aircraft crash. One would be the fuel the aircraft's carrying for its engine, and in this case the fuel is spread out over such a wide area, pretty much like it's been misted all over the ground, that there's really nothing you can do. If you had a large puddle in one location, you could maybe excavate it or suck it up. A couple of warm days and this will volatilize off. If it were avgas, it would actually go a lot faster than this material, which is jet fuel. The other concern you got to have is if they're carrying any cargo to be concerned about. Oftentimes aircraft carry radioactive cargo or medical cargo, something like that. We don't have any indication that this one had anything of that nature in it.
Okay, thanks. Okay. In a commercial flight, you would want to have the postal inspector here to look for mail. However, there was no, this is a private jet, there wasn't any involved. If power lines were involved, you would need to have your utility company come out. If water lines were involved or going to be used, you would want that. Resupply, I guess we could call it. The American Red Cross was notified by, who called you folks?
We heard on the scanner.
And you self-dispatch yourself? Or did county fire?
We heard the city
police were asking.
The city police was asking to notify the Red Cross. We heard on the scanner, so I called them.
You called city police, and they said, come on out? Okay, good. Well, the city police had the American Red Cross come out. Any agency can get their help, whether it's county fire or whoever it is. And we're glad to have them. The people that are here, most of them didn't eat breakfast, and now they have something to eat and coffee. The press can take advantage of it. It works out real nice. Thanks for coming.
This evening.
The news media, it's their job to get the information out to the public on what occurs. And you need to help the media do this. However, you have to make sure that they don't become involved in the incident where they can hurt themselves or disturb the incident. One of the other things you want to be concerned with when you have bodies involved in an incident, and this would play more on the sheriff's department, is that if you have real hot weather, you're going to have to start to be concerned about the effects of the heat on bodies. And so you may have to get somebody from the health department out here or others, because some of these bodies could lay out there for quite a long time until all the agencies are at scene. In major crash, you might even consider getting a refrigeration truck to set up as a temporary morgue on site. One of the problems also is when you have a crash like this is you have to be careful that you don't expose people who are unnecessarily involved. For instance, you'll get a lot of people from government agencies who show up and in reality don't have any reason to be here. The reason for this is that a crash of this kind is has large and visual impact, and all the people that are involved under San Luis County policy have to go through, San Luis County fire policy have to go through a debriefing program. As it is now, we probably have close to 30 fire personnel that are going to have to go through that, airport management, some press people, an eyewitness from the post office, which is nearby, who actually saw the crash and the ball of fire, and then the sheriff's personnel. So the more people that you involve, then all those people are going to have to go through a debriefing. Some of the concerns that you want to think about on a crash is worrying about your people. We talked about a little bit earlier about how you want to limit the number of people that are exposed. You also want to immediately try to notify a critical incident stress debriefing team or counselor. We've already done that through our occupational health services, our employee assistance program. Some of the other things you're going to want to know about their creature comforts, such as food, toilet, clothing. If the weather was inclement, you'd want to be concerned about that. One of the hazards that one of the firefighters pointed out to us is the plane knocked a really good sized limb up in the top of these eucalyptus tree, and it's hung up in the tree. So you want to watch for widowmakers in a case like this. We're going to leave somebody here to keep an eye on that, to keep people from walking underneath it. Because as the day goes on, the winds are going to pick up, and surely that thing will come down. One of the difficulties, of course, is the bodies have to be moved, taken to the morgue, and oftentimes fire department personnel are going to be involved in that, as they are here. Due to lack of staffing by the sheriffs, they have to use us. Some of the things you want to be concerned about is names. You don't want to give the press the names because we don't know if the next of kin's been told. I'm talking for the video, you guys, so ignore me here.
He's talking to himself.
So you want to be careful that you don't give the names out. And the press is usually pretty good about not doing it until you say anyways. But the sheriff's office is the one that will give out that kind of information. They're going to wait for the van to come and take these other 2 victims away. Initially we thought there was 5 people on board because the flight manifest said that. However, now we've just talked to the coroner about it, and he said that he's actually talked to the 5th person who was supposed to be on board, and he's not obviously on board, which is good for him.